Hello friends, my name is David, and I'm your coach of the FC Popplio. My hair looks awful because I just woke up, and yeah, this is week 8 against Mr. Murkrow, our good friend, and yeah, it's exciting because Merc and I are both sort of the bottom two of our conference, so the one who loses this one basically is out of playoff contention and is pretty much fighting off relegation. I am immune to relegation, so it's less bad for me, but I still want to make playoffs, and that's really important to me. So, because I've never missed a playoffs in a league I was in, so I don't want to start now. Anyway, I should pop up his team. It'll be right above me now. Cool. So, Merc's team is, well, you could see it. Very scary things include Mega Guard, which I don't have a real switch into. Sharpedo's very annoying. Lucario's super annoying. I don't have a good switch into that at all. Dugtrio's kind of bothersome for me. And D-Knight is always terrifying. Hazards are also a thing that are very mean to me. So, we're just going to jump right into my game, into what I'm bringing. We have a Scarf Garchomp. Scarf Rocks. I didn't really have any other thing to sort of fit on it, so I just tossed on Stealth Rocks. And Stealth Rocks are very important for things like D-Knight and Dugtrio, and Zapdos, of course. But yeah, just general Edgequake, Dragon Claw, just cause it. I don't know. Up next is Mega Swampert. He doesn't have a good switch into this if he chooses not to bring Serena or Slowking, which I can see neither coming. I'm expecting at least one to come. Maybe Slowking because Serena's really bad. Potentially like Scarf Excelgor is something I saw before, but I don't think that's very good. Yeah, he doesn't have great switch-ins to Megapert, and Megapert kind of like dumpsters his team. Enough defense so that Sharpedo doesn't even 2-hit KO me, which is very lovely, even if it's Adamant Life Orb. I'm creeping, I forget what I'm creeping. I think I'm creeping Adamant Life Orb Sharpedo, or at the very least I'm creeping Jolly D-Knight. 217, that seems like D-Knight speed. Or, no, that would be dumb, because I hit 70, I wouldn't be speed. It might be +1 D-Knight, or I think that might be what it is. Anyway, up next is Magnet Galvantula. This was Specs at one point, and numerous people have told me to change it to Magnet because I don't want to be locked in, but I don't think Dugtrio is even coming, so Merc isn't really the type to bring Dougie. So I really wanted Specs, but I ended up listening to everybody else and changed it to Magnet. And Sticky Web's cool. Volt, Thunder, Bug Buzz, all that fun stuff. He doesn't have great resists. Up next is Pelican, Damp Rock. Defensive Pelican with U-Turn Hurricane. I'm not a big fan of defensive Pelican, but it's a really good Sharpedo check. It's a pretty good Lucario check if need be. And it has enough Spadef to live one Hyper Voice, I believe. Yeah, fun stuff. Up next is the star of the show, Nasty Plot Mew. Nasty Plot Psychic Vacuum Wave Roost. It's defensive, so then it doesn't really die to anything in particular. It lives a Adamant Z-Fly, I think even a +1 Z-Fly, so that's kind of nice. It doesn't live a +1 Draco, Z Outrage, but I'm not expecting Z Outrage. I'm more expecting Z-Fly if it comes, or Z Dragon Claw even. Leftovers Roost is for recovery. At +2, Vacuum Wave does 100% to 0-0 Sharpedo, which is what I'm expecting. At +2, it also does minimum of 70 or something to a Lucario, so he can't like E-Speed spam me, or he can't. He would have to use E-Speed to try and kill me, and that's really nice. And then last but not least, we have AV Decidueye. Enough attack investment to to Oko a max HP Gardevoir if he's not Fizdef. But if he is Fizdef, it does a lot, and blah blah blah. Yeah. I think it does 106 or something ridiculous to a max HP guard. But yeah, that's the team. So we're going to hide the team list. We're going to jump right into the battle. And as you can see, he has his Mega Gardevoir, his Lucario, his Zapdos, Sharpedo, Miltank, and D-Knight. Big surprises are the lack of anything for Pert. But judging on the fact that he doesn't have a Slowking or a Serena, I'm expecting the Miltank to be toxic. I'm expecting Zapdos to be specially defensive to handle Keldeo and the like, because his Keldeo switch-in is also missing. Like a Specs Keldeo would send him into next week, but I didn't bring it because of Slowking. I did think about bringing it anyway, but changes happen to the team. Guard is probably bulky, maybe modest. Lucario is probably SD. Sharpedo is probably Life Orb. I'm really scared of mixed Sharpedo because that does a lot of damage, but it's probably just 3 attacks with Protect. And D-Knight could be Banded or could be Dragon Dance itself with a Z move. So we're just gonna start the match. I'm gonna lead Galv to sort of get up webs if I can. He goes for he Mega Evolves with this Gardevoir. I see that I do 26, which is kind of low, but I'm not. It tells me that it's max HP in some Spadef. So I go into my Owl as he hyper voices me and does 40. That's whatever. That tells me it's modest, I believe, as I just get the easy U-turn out and get some momentum. I go back into my Galv because based on the U-turn damage it's Fizdef, so I know I can get like Thunders off and Webs. So I Thunder it. I see that it is a Spadef Zapdos, and that tells me good information because so far so good. Everything I'm reading is right. I'm just gonna keep spamming Thunders and Webs to sort of force him to defog and give me free turns, and I'm just going to keep making these plays. I know that the defog is likely coming, so I'm just going to Volt Switch this turn and head into Garchomp, because based on the fact that he's Roost, Defog, Electric Attack, and I'm expecting HP Grass for the Pert as opposed to HP Ice, and I do want to know which he has. So I'm going to go into Garchomp because I know he's not going to HP Ice the Galvantula, or at least he shouldn't. So I go into Chompers to see what it is, and I know I live in HP Ice anyway, and he's probably just going to defog the webs away. And then I'm going to double out into my Pelican, sort of scouting the HP Ice. And he does go for the HP Ice, and that means that my Pert is really safe to come in here. And so I go into Pert as he goes into Miltank. Good call on his part. He goes into his Pert check, but I get to Power Up Punch here, and I figured he's just gonna go for rocks. I debated waterfalling because if I got a waterfall flinch there, then he lost his Miltank, and that would be really huge. In hindsight, I should have. In hindsight, I should have just went for the waterfall flinch, and if I 2 KO'd this Miltank, then Pert could have come in later and swept, but alas, as I go for the Power Up Punch as he goes for the Toxic, so it's a misplay on my part. I just go for another Power Up Punch since I'm already Toxic, and I don't know what he wants to go for, as he reveals S-Toss, which does a little bit more than Body Slam would, which is kind of frustrating, but that's whatever. He switches out into his Dragonite as I go for a Waterfall. That does 39, which tells me that he's in range of another Waterfall, and I should outspeed a +1 Adamant D-Knight, so even if he's like Scarfed, I don't die. He would have to be Banded in order for E-Speed to kill me from this range, and if he's banded, that means I get to go into my owl for free, or I get to go into anything for free, and that's very good information. So I'm just going to decide to waterfall again, as he makes the wildest play in my life and goes into Lucario on the Mega Swampert and dies to the +2 waterfall. He goes into Sharpedo now, and here is a pretty tough call, I want to say. It's not... He's going for Protect, and I know it, but my logic is if he protects here and he gets up rocks later, then Pert's essentially dead anyway. And Pert's not sweeping anymore at 10% health while being toxic. So my best play, in my opinion, is just sacking it off and hoping that he chokes and goes for an attack. But no, he clicks Protect, as he should, as I just waterfall, because it would have killed at +2 anyway. I die to Toxic, and in comes my Pelican. Pelican, I know, lives any hit. I can go for a nice and easy U-turn, and I do just that, and I go into my Mew, I believe, because this is a good setup opportunity. He doesn't have Toxic on this. I could just plot up as he T-bolts me and does 36, which is very annoying. I Psychic, I do 52 as he T-bolts me again. I know that I can just roost up here and win the 1v1 that way. Ultimately, I might be like poorly trading. I don't know, it's hard to tell. But I could just roost all this because it doesn't really bother me. He does get the para, which is really annoying, because it means I'm going to take more than I wanted to. I'm not going to be able to heal up on it, and I guess he was playing for the para, so good on him. But now it's just really annoying. I could have, if I wasn't parried, I could have probably set up. He goes into Sharpedo, and I vacuum wave him in the face. And here he goes into Guard, as I go into my Pelican, as he Calm Minds, and that's very scary. He hyper voices me. I'm like, whatever. I go into my Owl. I know I have a very good chance to live this, and he high rolls me, and I'm very sad. Oh, here's a fun play. I go into my Garchomp. Earthquake is the only move I have that kills the Gardevoir from here, but like Earthquake, my thought process was Earthquake kills the guard, but then he brings in D-Knight and sets up for free. So I don't want him to do that. I'm just going to click Edge and put him in range, and put guard in range of Galvantula. That way, I go for Stone Edge. Guard either dies to a crit, or it gets put low enough to where Galvantula just clicks Bug Buzz and then, or Thunder, and then sweeps from there, because under Rain, Thunder can't miss anyway, and all his mons are basically in Thunder range. So that's the current plan. So I'm edging 100%, not a doubt in my mind, as he ends up going into D-Knight, making a really weird play, predicting Earthquake, which I don't really agree with at all. Here, I don't know why I make this play, because my play last time was edging to try and get the guard low enough, when it could have been my play this time to just edge and get the guard low enough for Galv. So I'm not quite sure why I did what I did, but whatever. I go into Chompers and I Earthquake, and the low roll on the Galv plus a low roll on this puts it at 9%, which is unfortunate, but not the worst thing in the world. It's a misplay on my part, as he ends up Trick Rooming. I really think I should have just edged and gone for the crit, or gone for, like, let him kill me off, because he could have just hyper voiced before. He could have just set up Trick Room the first time, but he ended up misplaying and hyper voicing, and that's really unfortunate for me anyway. I should have just edged and died, and then it would have been in Galv range, and then Galv could have killed the guard, killed the mill tank, or at the very least put mill tank in range of Mew, and I would have won this game 2-0 or 1-0. But I choke and I switch out my Garchomp even though I didn't the first time, and he sets up a Trick Room and wins based off that. I'm not Sash, unfortunately, so I die, and yeah. So that's the game against Merc. It's rough because now we're 2-6 and we're basically out of playoff contention. There's very stretch cases where like Blake has to win out, Abe has to lose out, and everybody and a bunch of other people have to like lose games that they shouldn't. So I'm basically out of playoffs, and it's kind of whatever. I'm still gonna certainly try, but yeah, it's gonna be rough. So we're just gonna try and bring more fun stuff for these last 2 weeks. Anyway, I will catch you all next time. Peace.